What's going on, guys? It's your girl Tech Job Tina signing in for another episode. On today's episode, I ain't gonna quite tell you what it's about. I'm just gonna show you because I've been seeing an influx of these videos all over social media. Check it out.
So look, I work 3 jobs and I hate it.
I work 4 jobs and I hate it.
I work 3 jobs. Mainly, the obvious short answer is because I have to, right?
So I got 2 jobs and I hate it.
I'm not complaining. I work 4 jobs and I hate it.
I work 3 jobs and I definitely hate it.
I've been seeing a lot of that. Put a one in the comments if you have been seeing them too. Now, I'm not on TikTok. Maybe this is where this originated from. I have no idea. I just noticed that I've been seeing a lot of these videos floating on YouTube with the exact same title or titles that are very similar. And it made me think, man, I'm wondering how many of you guys actually work more than one job now? And if you do, are you doing it because you have to or because you want to? There's a huge difference between working multiple jobs because you want to and working multiple jobs because you have to. The last time I worked more than one job at the same time was probably when I was in college. When I was in college, I worked 2 jobs. And I guess if you counted college, that would be like 3 jobs because going to college is like work. That's like a whole job within itself. So yeah, when I was going to college, I went to school in the morning. Then right after school, I went to my first job. And then right after that job, I went to my second job, right? But even then, I didn't have to work 2 jobs. I like having extra money in my pocket. So I worked 2 jobs because I wanted to, right? So I'm kind of wondering, share in the comments a time where you worked 2 jobs and what was your situation? Did you work it because you wanted to, or did you work those jobs because you had to? I'm really interested to hear that from you. So some people are on, different sides of the fence. You got some people that say, well, if you would invest in a high earning skill, you wouldn't have to work so hard with those $18, $20 an hour, $25 an hour jobs, right? And I can understand that argument because it's really a true argument. If you did have a high paying skill, that would definitely alleviate some of that stress, right? Because you'd be getting paid more for your time, right? And then there's those other people that say, oh, it's inflation. Things shouldn't be so damn expensive. And I understand that too, because that is also part of the reason why people are working their fingers to the bone. Man, I think back to a time when I was making $12.50 an hour. Now, this is years ago, but I'm thinking back to the time I was making $12.50 an hour. I had enough money to pay my rent, buy my groceries, pay all my bills, and still have money to hang out on the weekend. And I was not stressed on that one little job. $12.50 an hour did everything I needed it to do, right? Man, you take that same $12.50 an hour, you are on struggle bus city. It is not going to take you very far at all. The struggle bus is not even going to make it down the street to the stop sign. You are out of gas on $12.50 an hour. And so, yeah, I definitely understand both sides of the arguments. I know we've all seen those TikTok rants where people are like really pissed off with the job market and really pissed off with inflation as far as groceries and utilities and gas and all this stuff. And I really think that this is probably the worst I've seen it in my adult years. Now, the last recession, that was my first recession as an adult. So that was my first experience. So I really have nothing to compare to prior to that because I was too young to really notice what was going on. I was still in school, not working. But when 2008 rolled around, I was grown and I had grown folks' job and a grown folks' responsibility of bills, right? So that was my first taste of feeling an economic downturn. And even during then, it wasn't as bad as it is now. During the last economic downturn, we did not have inflation to deal with. We didn't have skyrocketing food prices and gas prices and rent prices and utility prices combined with job market, issues. We didn't have those combined. So now, for the first time that I know of, we're having like this double whammy effect where, yeah, the job market is sucking and then everything is expensive all at the same time. So a lot of people say, oh, we're going into a recession. It's going to be way worse than 2008, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I can't disagree because everything that I'm seeing appears to be headed down the road that could be worse than 2008. And yeah, and I don't want to get political, but it is an election year. And however it goes, 2025 is going to be very interesting as far as where we are economically in this country. So I hope it doesn't get worse before it gets better, because a lot of people are already struggling. A lot of people can't even fathom it being any harder than it already is right now. Is Tech Job Tina is working more than one job? Best believe is because I want to, and that's the position I want to be in. I'm really serious about building these high paying skills so that I can go out here and I can work 2 or 3 $100,000 jobs because I want to, right? Hope you guys are also thinking the same, right? Go out there, grab them 2 or 3 jobs, but don't be in a position where you got to be like, oh, I work 3 jobs and I hate it. No, you work 3 jobs and you love it because you're making so much money that you don't know what to do with yourself. That's the position we need to be in. So make sure you are skill stacking, man. There's so many things out there that you can do. And a lot of this stuff you can learn for free. If you got the discipline, you can YouTube University yourself to $100,000 job, right? You just got to have the discipline and you got to be able to research and find the right content that you should be following. You one job that pays $45 an hour instead of having 3 jobs that pay $15 an hour, right? The best way to get yourself out of 3 job hell is to upskill. And that's all I can say about it, man. That's the best way to hedge yourself against inflation, is to get a higher paying skill. Sometimes you can be so deep in your situation, you think, oh, this is the way it has to be, but I'm telling you, it don't got to be like that. There's people out here right now that are working 2 and 3 jobs because they want to, and them 2 or 3 jobs combined is paying them 200, 300, 400 or more together, right? So if they can do it, you can do it too. Check out this video.
What I was saying during that time is, the jobs I have now, I have 2 jobs right now. Like I was saying, I do 1099/corp to corp jobs, so I can do multiple jobs. One job for y'all, because there's a lot of pocket watchers in here. One job is 60 an hour, the other one is 70 an hour, and between those 2 jobs, it's roughly like I want to say 22 to 23K a month. I'm in the process of getting a third one. I'm on like my final round interview. I basically have the job. I just have to talk to the hiring manager. It's not going to be technical or anything. They just want to talk to me. So I'll probably have that job by the end of next week, and I'm only doing 3 because with those 3 together, like I said, it'll put me over like $33,000 a month. So we'll see how that goes. I am analyst. Typically, I am analyst. They're just in charge of like different ticket requests and the ticket queue. That's mostly what you'd be doing, is just working on a ticket queue and taking care of different requests. So whether that may be updating a server, or doing a password reset for somebody, or making sure account is rotating properly in CyberArk, or provisioning of an account, which is you know, onboarding or offboarding an account, essentially, in layman's terms. About that, as soon as I get my first 2 checks from my job, so you guys can see, it goes through my business bank account, so you can't do anything with that. But I am making a video on that, so everybody can kind of see like what I'm saying is actually real. And the companies that I work for know I contract myself and consult to other companies, so that's why I can publicly speak about this and not have any backlash for it, because I'm allowed to do it. And I didn't sign any non-compete. I don't have any security clearance to where I can't do it before I get those questions. So yeah, I purposely make sure I ask about those and how they feel about multiple jobs, and the jobs that I have do not care. They're not going to ask. So if y'all are wondering about that, that's how I'm able to do those. My job, for one of my jobs now, right? And y'all know, like I said, I'm getting paid 60 an hour on corp to corp. But if I went with W2, and I don't know why it's like this, it would have been like 50. It would have been 54 or 55 an hour or something like that. So it's usually like a $5 to $10 range, depending on that. And the one that's at 70 an hour that I have, they were offering me 65 an hour. So it's like I said, sometimes it could be lower than that. It's usually like the $5 to $10 range. It kind of just depends. Yes, all of my jobs, I'm fully remote. I have 2 jobs right now. I'm in the running for a third. Everything is remote. One of my computers is right here next to me. Just got done working today. And they send, yes, every job that you get as well, they will send you a laptop like this. This one is a Lenovo ThinkPad laptop. So yeah, nothing crazy. It's just a basic ass laptop that they send you, and you just work off of that. Now to your question, Carlin, how many hours do you work with multiple jobs? I probably do like 2-3 hours of work a week. especially when I add this third one on, it may go up to like an extra hour worth of work a week between 3 jobs. What kind of person do you recommend this field for and don't recommend, as in personality, skills, and such? If you're not willing to work hard and learn and do the shit that you don't want to do, I would not recommend getting into cybersecurity. You need to have a good work ethic. You need to be able to have critical thinking skills. You need to be able to talk to people, because that's the main important thing with even getting a job in the first place. On the interview, you need to know how to talk to them, and know what the hell you're talking about.
My guy Kyle, he is an IAM engineer, which is identity access management engineer, right? So in cybersecurity, right? And he basically just said what? He works 2 jobs that are bringing him in $20,000 a month, and he's about to get a third. Is going to put him at $33,000 a month. Now, in Kyle's situation, Kyle does what they call corp to corp, right? He has a company and he is basically working in consultant mode. He's like an independent contractor. So he's able to juggle as many contracts as he wants. These companies can't tell him how many contracts he can have, right? So that's always another option for you to job stack, especially when you get into tech, cybersecurity, things like that. A lot of these companies will allow you to do what they call C2C or corp to corp, and that is what he is doing. 3 jobs, $33,000 a year, right? So then let's hop over to the overemployed Reddit group, right? I was kind of wondering, we had the whole overemployment movement a couple of years back, and I want to see if this is still very much a thing as it was before. And it is, because there's recent postings in the overemployed forum on Reddit. Check this out. Posted 6 days ago in the overemployed forum on Reddit. Title, just another Thursday. Woke up, job 2 check dropped. Cleared our credit cards, put $3,000 in our high yield savings account. I'll transfer some to our investment account to pick up a couple of more ETF shares. Then paid cash for my wife's new iPhone 15 Pro. I'll go pick up over my lunch. She's had the same crappy little beat up 12 mini for years now, so I decided I wanted to treat her. We're debt free aside from our mortgage and working away at that since it's 7% rate. But otherwise, we have a year of nest egg, a good chunk in retirement and investments, and this is just another Thursday with OE, overemployment. Keep grinding, keep your head down, OE on. He's got 2 jobs. He's an ERP wizard, a project manager, a developer. His total comp is $250,000 from 2 jobs, right? So that's one example right there. Here's another one. This one was posted 22 hours ago. He says, got 2 jobs, need advice. He goes, after months of interviewing on the side, finally received job offer for a C2C job 2, which C2C is corp to corp, just how my guy Kyle is doing with the 3 jobs, which is a hybrid remote for $165,000. Job 1 is a full-time, mostly remote role for $120,000. That's fairly relaxed, decent benefits, and one of those that you can easily ride to retirement because of its low-stress nature and fairly guaranteed employment regardless of market. Both are in tech, but in completely different markets, so there's no overlap or conflict. Given the low-stress nature of job 1, I was working maybe 20 to 25 hours per week max, but occasionally have to go on site for testing. Mostly independent contributor, so don't really have to work too much with big teams ever. My manager also mostly remote, and as long as he is updated with progress, I'm good. With job 2, it's a more high-skilled job in a field that will require more hours initially to get up to speed, but should still be doable within 30 to 40 hours per week max. It'll be mostly remote, so we'll be able to spread it out over the week to get the job done. Job 2 doesn't care if I have other jobs on the side as long as I get the job done and communicate with them since it's C2C. Y'all getting that, y'all? C2C is where it's at, right? However, if and when job 1 finds out about job 2, it won't be good because it requires declaring all external conflicts or source of income. Job 1 is also one of those places where they'll likely not match the salary to keep me on, but might consider a 5 to 7% raise at most. There is a potential option of talking to my manager at job 1 and asking them to convert the full-time position into a C2C position as well. It's not guaranteed, but has happened with a few people, and they regularly hire contractors for long-term projects as well as so not something unreasonable. Maybe they might agree to a part-time C2C role if they feel I won't be able to dedicate full-time to it. Or maybe even let me stay on full-time as long as I declare other sources of revenue. They have allowed employees to have other businesses on the side or do a small venture or project, so they're not overly opposed to OE. Just depends on my manager and division director on if they're okay with it and if they feel like I have the capacity to deliver. I'm tough to replace, so likelihood of being let go is very low. However, I'm concerned about leaving a safe full-time job with benefits and venturing out into the purely consulting roles. If I was single, it was a very easy decision to make, but with wife and kids, the lack of safety is what's causing the concern. Job one also has good job satisfaction in the type of work, but the low stress nature is very, very good. Job two, hopefully, will be similar in job satisfaction, but will likely increase workload quite a bit. The other issue is that if I don't tell job one to continue on, eventually there will be a time where I'm called in, preoccupied in one place, and have to answer to the other. I really don't want them to think I'm slacking. I typically produce that excellent quality work, and I'm known for it. So most people leave me alone, but I don't want to get attention drawn towards me. I will start job two in a few weeks, and I'm a bit nervous about the decision to take here. Any advice and personal experiences are highly appreciated. And so there are like two comments down here, but the whole point of me reading this post, Buddy's got total comp of what's that, $285,000 working two jobs. So the point I'm trying to make here, if you're going to work 2 and 3 jobs, right? You're still going to spend the time. If you're still going to be stressed and all that, you might as well be stressed making a bunch of money. And your stresses are going to be different if you work in 3 jobs making $300,000 versus 3 jobs making $50,000, right? Your stresses are going to be different. If you making $300,000 on 3 jobs, your only stress is probably going to be that you're tired. Oh, I'm tired. I work so much, but you ain't broke, right? You're not struggling, right? You got more than enough money to do what you need to do, right? So if you're going to have some stress, you know, what struggle would you rather have? You want the struggle of being tired and that's it? You making the money, or you want the struggle of being tired and broke? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's the decision to make. In order for you to get to a position where you are able to OE, overemploy, and make $200, $300, $400, $500,000, is going to call for you to upskill. You're going to have to step your skills up so you can leave them little bootleg ass jobs alone and get over here and start making some money. So I thought it was interesting when I started seeing all these people started post about how I work 3 jobs and I hate it, how I work 3 jobs because I have to, how I work 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And then you got a completely different group of people on the other side of the fence. They're like, oh, I'm total comp. 2 jobs, 250. Oh, I'm total comp. 3 jobs, 400. Oh, I'm total comp. 3 jobs, 500. You know, so it's like, which group you want to be in, all right? Take job Tina. If I'm gonna work that many jobs, you best believe I want to be $200, $300, $400,000 a year working them 2 or 3 jobs. So I say all that to say this: when it comes to working multiple jobs, pick your struggle. Which one you want. Or the story is, if you're gonna work 3 jobs, you might as well be getting paid hella good for it, y'all. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of cover that. I thought it was interesting how all of a sudden YouTube's algorithm was showing me all these I work 3 jobs and hate it videos. And I definitely wanted to highlight that it don't have to be like that, right? You can work 3 jobs and be very happy if you do it right. So I'm gonna stop this video right here, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Tech Job Tina is out. Peace and blessings. Bye.
I work 3 jobs and I still hate it.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to keep up. You know, I got to do 2 to 3 jobs. And it's just mainly saying that you don't have a good enough skill, bro.